Hi, thank you for joining me today. I'd like to look at explosive power training in Chen Tai Chi, and we'll look at the Zhao Kao, and see how they apply to the training for Fajin, or explosive power. But we'll start with a warm-up. Just loosening up the joints. This is important for especially the training in Fajin, where we are doing movements that are applying a little bit of power, a little bit of speed. So first, to loosen up the shoulders, elbow rotation. Also relax the hips. And open across the chest. Going the other way, folding the chest. Arm circles, bringing the arm up close by the side of the head. Other direction. If you do it too fast, then you're just using the momentum to pull your arm through, rather than placing your arm and moving your arm consciously through the range of motion, through the full range of the shoulder. So instead of swinging the arm wildly, bring the arm up, open across the shoulder, let the arm down. Other direction. And then chest. Each of these moves we do twice, feeling for a little bit of spring, a little bit of snap. Elbows out, arms out, up and down, and then other side. Elbows, arms, up and down. Switch, elbows, arms, up and down. And switch. With the up and down, it's not moving the arms up and down, it's moving the arms back and back. So elbows, arms, up and down, switch, and once more. Arms, up and down, and switch. Turning the waist, twice to each side, relax the hips. Keep the body upright. And then swinging the arms, tapping the torso, just at the hips, and then at the chest, top of the shoulder, outside of the arm, and then the ribs, and then the abdomen. Hip circles, relax the ankles, relax the hips. Going the other direction. And then knees, circling them in. And then the other direction, circling outwards. Good. Ankles. Other way. Other side. Other direction. Good. Swing the arms, kick out the legs. A little bit of stretching as well, stretching the hamstrings in the back, so feet side by side, legs straight. And then crouching down. Try to keep the heels on the ground. Legs straight again. Crouching down. Good. Hip stretch, heels on the ground. One hand on the small of the back. Try and keep the body upright so that we stretch the hip, the front of the hip on the leg that's going back. Switching sides. Same thing, heel on the ground, body fairly upright. Going back to the first side, slightly different stretch by letting the back heel up off the ground, both hands on the front knee. Keep the shin, for both of these, keep the shin vertical. And switching sides. Good. And falling stance. So, try to keep the knees pointing upwards so that the thighs are rotated out. Shift the weight onto one side, onto the heel, and then depending on the strength of the leg and the flexibility of the other leg, we set down. It can be a high stance. You can use your elbow to support yourself here, or keeping the heels on the ground, crouch down. If this heel on the bent leg pops up, then you've gone too far down, too low. Try and keep the heels on the ground and the legs so that the knees are pointing upwards. This is different than this kind of stretch where the knee is pointing this way. Rotate the leg so the knee is pointing up. One of the reasons for doing it this way is so that when you're here and you're coming up out of this stance, your knee is in a better position. Same thing on the other side. Setting down. Good. First side again, you can let the toes come up, slightly different stretch for the leg. Here we can press, to come out, we can press the heel against the ground or hook the heel against the ground. Use this leg to pull our way up. Sitting down on the other side. Coming up. Good. Kick out the legs. So that's a very short, quick warm-up. We'll go and look at Zhao Kao. These are 4 of the 8 drills, energies, gets translated different ways. Peng Lu Jian is the first set of 4, associated more with the first routine. Zhao Kao, associated with the training for the second routine. So let's look at the moves, and as we go through them, we'll try and understand them from the perspective of how it's training the body. This is different, slightly different than looking at the application, which ways you use it, but more in terms of what it's teaching you in terms of how to move the body, the skill of the body. So, let's Sai, here, Lei, here, Zhou, and then Kao. We'll look at them each one at a time. First one, Pluck, Sai, is this motion which has the arms up. We turn the wrists and pull down. There's a turn of the body so that it's from here to here. Body's facing front. Body turns, which extends one hand forward, the other hand slightly back, and the wrists at the same time turn. This motion here. Pluck. The key or the distinguishing factor, feature, is that the motion starts quickly at the beginning. The fast part, the snap, happens at the beginning. Here. Just the wrists by themselves is simply this motion of, if you're going to pluck something, there's an apple on a tree, and if you pull it slowly, the branch will bend and you won't be able to detach the apple from the tree. What you have to do is you have to pull it quickly, pluck it, and then you'll be able to remove the apple from the tree. So this has that same kind of snap that happens at the beginning. Just the wrists by themselves, it's just this motion here. It can be something where it goes pulling down here. It can be something one up, one down here. It can be both hands pulling down. All of these are a pluck, right? Pluck here, pluck here, pluck here. Because the distinguishing feature is that it's starting from relatively still and all of a sudden, whoop, pulls. Just the motion of the hands is here, without the power. It's a little bit like casting a rod, a fishing rod. Two hands, one pulls forward, the other pulls back, and it has this kind of motion. The forward and back, when we start applying the power, happens not from the arms moving, but happens from the body turning. So the turn of the body also needs to be quick at the beginning, a fast initiation. Again, again, and again. Other side, same thing, here, here. And again. 2 more times. Good. From the pluck to lie, which is a bigger motion coming off to the side. Turn the body, extend the arms out. Starts on one side, one hand close to the other elbow, bring the hands across. Now, the other arm is extended, other hand is by the elbow. As the arms come across, the wrists rotate here. So from here, one palm, one thumb up, one thumb down, across. Other thumb up, other thumb down. Hands have rotated across. Just the motion by itself to one side. Swing the arms across and across. Keep the shoulders set down. Keep the body upright. So instead of this, here, instead of this, keep the body upright, just a smooth rotation and weight transfer. 3, 4, 5, 6. Other side, same thing. From here, rotate the wrists, bring the hands across. 2. Turn the body, keep the shoulders relaxed. 5, 6. If we do the same motion, but add a little bit of the Fajin, the explosive power. Now the motion, the snap happens at the end. So there's a slow initiation and then the snap happens at the end. So slow and then a sudden stop. That's the snap. To there. Again. Everything's relaxed. And then the sudden stop. 4, 5, and 6. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The key with the sudden stop is that it's a weaving together, a connecting of the core of the body with the arm, which puts a brake on the momentum all of a sudden. So something's moving along, and then it hits a brake, and then whatever you're moving flies off in that direction. So it's this motion and then the sudden stopping that happens by integrating the body. I'm trying to avoid the phrase tightening up the muscles, because then it ends up being something which deadens the transfer of force. And if it needs to be that at the beginning, that's okay, but that's not where you want it to progress to, or you don't want it to end at that point. So here is okay, but the force is actually being disrupted because it's just a tightening of the muscles. You want something that allows everything to be connected, and it's a connection to the core of the body that creates this kind of power. So it's a softer kind of motion, is not as tense, though the muscles are involved. Right. That kind of motion, as opposed to something that stops and breaks the flow. So that's lié. The key thing being in contrast to pluck. Pluck, the snap happens at the beginning. Whereas with lié, it's slow at the beginning and then the suddenness happens at the end. Last two, Zhao Kao. Zhao is the elbow strike here. So the motion is one which just brings the elbow to open and then forward. The other hand, for the drill, we just bring the other hand to close, giving the elbow something to strike. There. So the motion is here for the drill. The action for the elbow can also happen in other directions. It can be a vertical strike, horizontal strike, double strike as a form of training. But the basic one for the drill is here. For this, two things that are important. One is that the shoulder stays relaxed. So instead of the shoulder rising up, causing tension in the upper shoulder, keep the shoulders down and relaxed. Also, the initial motion isn't pulling the elbow back. Not here. Right? It's opening across the whole body, across the shoulder. So it's open and a close. Here. Generally suggested that you think of striking with the flat part of the elbow. This is safer when you're practicing hitting yourself, your hand, or with a partner. Striking with the tip of the elbow is much more dangerous. So the motion without putting any force into it is just this open, close, open, close, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. Adding in a bit of power to it, involving more of the closing of the body, means that the whole body pulls in. You can have it when you're trying to generate a lot of force into it, where the stance actually pulls in and closes to one side, closing to, in this case, with the elbows here, closing to the opposite hip here. So from that, then pay attention to where the body turns from and how the stance narrows for this strike. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switching sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Kick up the legs. You can see how the elbow strike generates quite a bit of power. My teacher, Master Jack Yan, also describes this move. Elbow means like with when you're doing plumbing and you have a pipe, there's an elbow, which means it's a bend. So a bend means that it's not just elbow being here, but a bend meaning that it can be this kind of motion. Bend at the wrist, bend at the knee is the same thing. The part that links it is that we have to find this closing, this connecting from the core of the body to the striking area. So this is part of the Fajin training. The first two is the Fajin training for the timing. Snap at the beginning, snap or suddenness at the end of the motion. Here is getting that connection from the extremity to the core of the body. And then the last one, Kao, is finding that closing action, but just doing it with the body. So moving the body from something that is fluid to something that is solid. So generating that force in the body happens with that dynamic change from fluid to solid. The motion itself is simply here. The template is to strike with the front of the shoulder. There. So with this motion here, it again is something where it's a very small motion, and there's a little bit of an open across the shoulders, and then keeping the shoulders relaxed. You bring the shoulder forward, closing into the opposite hip. So the motion here is just this. The principle can also be applied in other ways. Striking backwards, for example. People talk about striking with like a hip check is also part of a Kao. So anything that strikes with the body is seen as this principle. The key part of this principle then is to have everything so that it's fluid, movable, relaxed, and then it suddenly changes to become solid and integrated. So it's that transition, fluid, integrated back to fluid. That's the important thing to find. So it's here and relax, and relax. Open, close, relax. Open, close, relax. Open, close, relax. Keep the shoulder relaxed and down. Open, close, relax. Open, close, relax. Other side. Open, close, relax. Open, close, relax. Open, close, relax. Open, close, relax. If we put a little bit of power into this, a little bit of snap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax. With any of these moves, particularly with this one, if you find that it's straining your neck or head, it's because you're directing the force in the wrong direction. The force should not move up into the head and neck, though when we're learning it, it's easy for the force to do that. Reduce the amount of force and power that you're putting to find the proper direction of the motion that doesn't cause it to come up and tighten the muscles to stabilize the head and neck, but instead allow these to be relaxed so that the force comes through. So if it's bothering your head and neck, you're not doing the movements properly and adding too much force into it. You're being too enthusiastic. Dial it back, find the motion, direct it through to the shoulder, through to the elbow, through to the arm. Relax the shoulders. When you have that, then gradually increase the amount of force that you apply into the movement. So, from the beginning, all 4, Cai, then Lie, elbow, Kao, and then shoulder, Kao. Other side, Cai, Lie, Zhou, and Kao. Once more, Cai, Lie, Zhou, Kao. Switch, Cai, Lie, Zhou, Kao. Good. Kick out the legs. I hope that information is helpful for you. Cai, the suddenness at the beginning. Lie, suddenness at the end. Kao, a bend and a connection from the striking surface to the core. And, Zhou, connection from the striking surface to the core. Kao, finding this change from fluid and relaxed to solid and integrated and back. Thank you for watching. Keep training, keep learning, keep practicing. Take care.